Good morning, and thank you for joining us on today's CHTA Live Forging Ahead series, bringing hospitality and tourism industry professionals insights, trends, and market intelligence to expand your knowledge and keep you in the know. My name is Vanessa Ledesma, CEO of the Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association, and I'm delighted and appreciative that you are joining us for today's session, Smart Hospitality, Leveraging Technology to Elevate Caribbean Guest Experiences, brought by CHTA partner Liberty Business. Today's session is recorded and will be available to replay on CHTA's YouTube channel within 48 to 72 hours, and the presentation deck will be available on CHTA's members portal. At this point, I would like to introduce our moderator and panelist for today, Rainier Huisman from Liberty Business. Rainier, over to you.
Great. Vanessa, thanks a lot. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. Good morning, maybe even good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Liberty Caribbean, part of the Liberty Latin America group, I'd like to thank the Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association for inviting us to join this important discussion. So my name is Rainier Huisman. I'm the product director for our business services portfolio across the Caribbean. And we're excited. We're excited to share more today about how Liberty Business can support the region's, what I think is most dynamic industry, tourism, and with technology that not only connects, but also protects and empowers. And to hear more from one of our customers on how digitization and automation transforms the hospitality reality on the ground. So I'll start things off with a brief introduction, and I will then hand over to our hospitality product expert, Adam de Freitas, who will go a little bit deeper into some of the technology solutions that are out there to help keep your customers happy, keep your rooms full, keep your costs down, and your staff enthusiastic. And that's what it's all about. And last, but certainly not least, we have Shane Barnes here with us today. He's the Information Technology Director of the Trial Club. And I'm certainly looking very much forward to hear his view from the reality within the business. What are customers looking for? What are tourists looking for? What's our staff looking for in the tourism industry? So I think it's an exciting agenda. So if I take a brief step back, as many of you know, Liberty Caribbean, formerly Cable & Wireless, is one of the region's leading telecommunication and entertainment providers. We've been proudly serving the Caribbean since the 1870s, believe it or not. But the reality was quite different in those days. And so from the days of telegraph poles and copper cables to today's world of super fast broadband, mobile and landline and video services, we're still around to serve your interests. What's important always to mention is that we believe that we are firmly rooted in the Caribbean, and that's not just metaphorically, but also physically the case. So we have a network of over 50,000 kilometers of cutting-edge subsea and terrestrial fiber, which is one of the more advanced communication backbones in the region. So we're physically rooted in the Caribbean. And just like CHTA, Liberty has been around in the Caribbean for a long time, a trusted partner. And what's very important for us are the deep customer relationships that we've built up over the years. And that's why we've turned the pace recently, and we're now positioning ourselves as a Liberty Business, which is not just a rebranding for us. It's really a new or renewed commitment to the region, to our customers, to our partners, and we'll stay true to our Caribbean roots here. And what's important is that we're there to be the technology solution partner for all the business services needs that are out there. So we're known for our connectivity solutions, connecting people, but also places and things. We protect businesses from the ever-evolving threats that are out there with the cybersecurity portfolio. We're there to help customers make the journey to the cloud with our data center and cloud service offering. IoT and smart solutions to help you streamline your operations. We're more than willing to help you think about this and potentially position yourself for a streamlined future using, IoT and mobile solutions. And together with CHTA and our partners across the region, we're helping Caribbean businesses, especially in hospitality and tourism, to be more resilient, to be ready for further growth and innovation. And if I make the transition to the topic of today, so tourism, technology in tourism and hospitality, we believe that tourism is really the beating heart of the Caribbean. So every year we welcome millions of guests to our shores, and we see a significant revenue come in. We see significant revenue growth. But an important theme here is that what we often see is that too much of the revenue that gets generated in hospitality does not stay in our region. It tends to leave our region in substantial quantities. So this is a concept that economists call leakage. In our hospitality sector, depending a little bit on the exact market, this may be as much as 70 cents of every dollar that gets generated in our Caribbean leaves the region. And where's this money going? There's a lot of examples, but just a few to point out. And we've seen the rise over the last years of the booking platforms that are out there, the Expedia.coms, the Booking.coms, and the commissions, the booking fees. In the end, will go to these global sites and won't stay in the region. When it comes to entertainment and content, streaming services, where the service itself and the content itself is generated outside of our region, these incomes will not stay in the Caribbean region. Taxi and touring platforms like an Uber, but also guest analytics and CRM systems, where we often see that these are managed in overseas cloud platforms, with data stored outside of the region. So we think this isn't sustainable. And the question is, what can we do differently? Now, we believe that we need to build and scale local digital ecosystems to support the hospitality sector, and in the end, to keep more of the value that's created here within the region. So at Liberty Caribbean, we're actively working with hotels and resorts and tourism boards to, for example, deliver locally hosted and managed guest entertainment systems with content tailored to, the Caribbean cultures and languages. We support local platforms for digital bookings, concierge services and experiences. And we even go as far as offering AI-powered chatbot functionalities to allow hotels to facilitate direct bookings for their guests and offer support throughout their stay without the need to go to third-party platforms. And we have a bit more information about that later today. So every one of these steps helps to reduce economic leakage, and it also helps to strengthen our region's resilience. So just, bear with me when, I describe a vision for the future that we have here for, hospitality in the Caribbean. Imagine a Caribbean hospitality sector where a guest books and checks into a hotel using a locally built app. He or she watches content streamed from within the region, books a boat tour through a local operator via a local digital marketplace, perhaps even through the hotel website or the entertainment system that he or she has access to in the room. And all the while the data that they're consuming and they're generating is protected and hosted locally. And so this future, we believe, is really within reach. If we invest in our digital capabilities and collaborate across private and public sectors, this is achievable. So, and as a closing remark from my side, Hospitality is really our lifeblood, but we must evolve how we operate it. And by using and building local digital solutions, we can keep more of this tourism revenue in the region. We can stimulate our tech sector. We can build a more inclusive digital economy. And in the end, this will also lead to, our industry and our region to be able to keep customers and visitors happy, and to keep rooms full, to keep costs down, and streamline staff and keep them enthusiastic. So I think that's the quick introduction from my side. I think we are seeing the growth in our tourism business in the region, but through digitization, technology, automation, we think we can, increase the revenue that stays in the region, and we can increase the experience for our guests. Now, and to give you a bit more detail around that, I'd like to hand over to Adam de Freitas, who can take you through some of the experiences that are available right now or pretty soon. Adam, over to you.
Just testing my audio. Hey, good morning, everyone. Thanks again for taking the time, and thanks for that, René. So like René mentioned, sorry, I just want to make sure, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so as René mentioned, our team has been, hard at work, taking a deep look at the hospitality sector, emerging trends, and the challenges. René just mentioned, keeping our operational costs down in the hospitality sector is a major priority, as well as your occupancy levels as well, trying to get those up, right? So those are two huge challenges that we look at as a team and try to, develop the portfolio to solve those challenges, right? So some of the solutions that we've come up with, some we will dive into more deeper today, but just for a broad overview. So we've launched over the past year across about 10 markets. We've launched a new IPTV solution. We're calling it Smart Room. So Smart Room is a fully interactive IPTV solution tailored for the guest experience, right? Tailored for the hotel industry. So we'll dive deep into that a little bit in a minute or so. We've also launched a new solution by the name of Guest Chat. So Guest Chat is an AI-powered multilingual chatbot system, right? So René was touching on the point of revenue leakage, and maybe some of that revenue from a booking going towards the Expedias, Travelocities, Booking.com. So Guest Chat tries to mitigate that by engaging with your guest on your website directly and driving the booking directly through your website. So I'll touch on Guest Chat in another slide, but it's a really exciting solution. It's again, a very nice way to engage with guests and try to have a personalized conversation with an interested customer in your services, right? So I'll touch on that in a sec. Hotel 360, another exciting one. It's a monitoring dashboard for all of the services inside of your hotel. And when we speak of monitoring, we're not speaking in the traditional sense where we're talking about more like what an IT team would view. We're more speaking of monitoring all of the guest impacting services that we provide on the IT side. So for example, we're able to monitor the Wi-Fi, the IP phones, IPTVs, and basically any IP device in the hotel room, and provide that information on a friendly, intuitive dashboard at the front desk. So the idea behind that is that your front desk staff will always be aware of any guest impacting issues happening in the rooms, and are able to be more proactive in managing that issue, mitigating that issue, requesting help from Liberty or your internal teams. Just say, hey, to the IT manager, hey, we noticed that there is a issue with the Wi-Fi, for example, in room 100, right? And that just allows the front desk staff or anyone interfacing with the customer to have a more informed conversation, right? And just to be more proactive in getting those issues resolved. So yeah, Hotel 360, a very nice solution. And of course, we have digital signage as well, which we've actually combined into our IPTV solution. And as all of you know, we back all of that up with our solid network across the region, right? With our connectivity solutions. So I'll just dive right over into Smart Room and give you all a little sneak peek at what Smart Room entails. So just a little background, most of you are familiar with traditional IPTV solutions or traditional digital or analog TV solutions in your hotels today, which are pretty much all going to be just linear content, right? Meaning you just get the cable feed from the provider and you have the channels, but there's not much there's not much else going on behind that, right? No actual software behind that. However, with Smart Room, we've gone back to the drawing board as a team and I would say reimagined how we want to deliver IPTV to hospitality by delivering a solution that is not just going to provide the content, again, speaking of your CNNs, Fox, ESPN. So when I say content, I'm just making sure that everyone follows along with the terms, but when you have the content, what you want behind that as well is going to be the ability to cast, for example, right? We know that our viewing habits are changing, and most of your travelers or most of your guests are going to want to stream their Netflix, YouTube. They might want to cast their Disney account, for example, so their kids can continue watching their favorite shows. So we've built that into the Smart Room solution as well, and guests can pick up their mobile, whether that's an iPad, an Android device, so iOS or Android compatible. So any tablet, any phone, smartphone, and you can cast your Netflix to the TV. One thing on that as well, we've also gone one step further in integrating or allowing for the capability for you to integrate Smart Room with your property management system, which then means that you can actually allow the guest to check out from the TV, pay their bill from the TV, and also when they check out from the hotel, the system will automatically log them out of their Netflix account or any other services that they were casting to the TV. So this solves this actually. Speaking with some hotels, I know that this is some challenges that the hotels are facing today. Maybe a guest checks out and they leave the Netflix on the TV and the following guest comes in, and then you have to get housekeeping involved or maybe the IT team involved to resolve the issue, right? Well, our Smart Room solution solves that problem by automatically checking the guest or signing the guest out of that service when they check out. So we mentioned digital signage earlier, and we're also integrating some of that into Smart Room as well, meaning that you'll have some nifty ways to promote your amenities on site. For example, you can use the TVs across the property to broadcast, let's say, for example, any specials by the pool or the pool bar, or any specials at the restaurant, anything that you would like to monetize and raise awareness of. From a marketing perspective, you can use the TVs across the property as essentially digital signage displays, just capitalizing on your investment and allowing you to generate more revenue. Okay, so one other thing that we can do with Smart Room as well, I mentioned the ability to check out, but with the PMS system, guests can also order room service as well. So you can upload your entire menu to the TV. Guests can order room service. They can book the spa. Again, any amenity that you would like to promote and upsell within the hotel, the smart room solution interfaces with that and allows you to do so. And you can tailor it to your own needs, as well as from a marketing perspective. You can picture it as almost like a website where we can have the smart room solution with all of your typical marketing logos, color scheme, etc. Anything that your marketing teams or anything that you as a hotel would like to have stay consistent from a graphical perspective, we can ensure that is maintained across the board, by customizing the solution with all of your images and logos, color schemes, etc. Okay. I know you probably have lots of questions. I think we'll do a Q&A at the end to get to those questions as well. Okay, so earlier we touched on guest chat. So guest chat is a very interesting tool. With AI being such a prominent topic in many different ways at this moment over the past, I would say 3 or 4 years, AI has been a hot topic for many businesses, and it's just becoming more and more relevant, right? So with guest chat, what we're really doing is it's in the back end, powered by ChatGPT, but customized for you. So meaning that we can train the AI on all of the, let's say, the unique aspects of your hotel, and the AI will be able to handle any questions that you can throw at it, right? That are specific to your hotel. So it's trained by us for you, and it's just all about it's all about enabling that personalized experience, right? And again, it's 24/7, and the idea behind it really is to, one, just engage the guest, maybe alleviate some of the workload for your staff, especially after hours. When I know that can be a challenge. So 24/7, again, being an AI chatbot, and the goal of it, the AI, is to really capture all of the information that the guest is seeking, provide the guest with that information, and then drive that into a direct booking. So staff can come in the next morning at the hotel. They'll would like to make a booking, and it just would guide the front desk staff or whoever is inside the hotel managing that to reach out to that person, confirm the booking, and again, that keeps the revenue within your property, and no longer having to dish that commission out to, let's say, Expedia or one of the other global sites. Okay, so with guest chat in mind, I just wanted to introduce Shane again on the call. Shane from the Toral Club in Jamaica, and Shane actually has some interesting insights to share with us. So Shane, over to you.
All right, thank you, Adam. Morning, everyone, and fantastic presentation again, Renar. I think the vision is very clear, and I just want to say thank you to the CHTA for having me today as well. So I'm Shane Barnes, lead technology vision person here at Trial Club. The Trial Club has a history going back 17th century, and it's a fantastic villa located in Jamaica. It's northwestern Jamaica, right on the outskirts of Montego Bay. And we tend to push our brand as the best and most exclusive family destination, creating that warm and authentic feel away from home whenever our visitors arrive and our guests are in-house. Naturally, when you're away from home and you're on vacation, there are quite a number of things, especially from a luxury hotel, that you would require. And those include exceptional service, personalized and tailored experiences, technology behind it, and of course, the local things such as the culture and embodying those activities as well. Next slide for me, please, Adam. When we look at that, we run with a brand, and the brand itself is what our motto is. So we're classically Jamaican, exclusively private, and naturally beautiful. And then, of course, we have the embodiment of what that luxury item is, as I mentioned before. So our philosophy maintains that we provide contemporary luxury, all with everything else bottled with a warm local experience, and of course, matching what Jamaica's finest is supposed to offer. So for us, located on 2,200 acres, scattered across 70 plus villas, and offering that experience of a luxury hotel, as you'd imagine, create its own challenges. Go ahead for me, please, Adam. Just a little bit more about how to get to us. We're, as I said, located on the outskirts of Jamaica. We offer concierge services at the airports and private transfers just to make the ease of travel and transfer to our location for our guests very seamless. Next. So what makes us different? And I did point out a couple, but I just want to solidly zone in on our brand. And our brand is very exclusive, and I'm building up around the brand because then it matches what I would have came in to identify as our needs to move the company and the hotel forward. So for us, we want to continue to provide unmatched selection. And I said, each guest, they want a tailored experience. For us, we have 70 plus distinct experiences through our multiple villas, which are also uniquely owned, right? So picture having that as a particular area to manage. Then we want to maintain a particular standard, which is to provide exceptional service. Again, within the luxury industry, that is a key, that is a must, and we always try to maintain our 5 stars where that is concerned, both from a culinary experience to our offerings of activities and entertainment, and of course, the technology behind it, the ease of interaction, the follow-ups, the execution, and of course, making sure our team is kept on point with all of those particular topics. And then, of course, our signature estates, which means the experience at each of the villas should be seamless and the same. So wherever our guests choose to book, we want to make sure that that experience in itself is one that is cohesive to what our 5-star standard is supposed to maintain. Next. All right, so again, I would have touched on a couple of these, but just to kind of hit home, we sell our 2,200 acres. We have, we're in the top 100 when it comes on to golf courses here in the Caribbean, located in Jamaica. Continue to provide our rich heritage and our exceptional service. But naturally, these things ensure that we maintain our standard as well, offering it from single parties to families and large groups. The offerings vary, but naturally, as we said before, and as I continue to maintain, the experience should be the same. Go ahead for me, please. Next slide, Adam. All right, so the challenges we continue to engage with in the hotel industry is not unique, I'm sure, to any of the existing persons on the call. But for me, being here, having 70 plus different villas to maintain, having persons from North America, Europe, South America, reaching out to do their different bookings, we had quite a number of reviews done, and there were some gaps that were identified on the technology side. And the technology side would then lend itself to business operations because for me, business strategy is driven by technology. It's not the other way around, right? So the strategy dictates that we want to have a higher market yield and a more diverse market yield. Naturally located here in Jamaica, we're just about on the same time zone as most North American partners between Canada and the Americas. But when we look at Europe, we look at Asia, which are markets that also are withholding of our clients, we want to make sure that we are also available to that market, right? So that's one area. We want to continue to generate leads. So as Adam stated, we do have a wide cross-section of affiliates, but naturally, if we are able to maintain those particular bookings through our own offerings instead of through leads, then it means more revenue, more gross profit on our side. We want to continue to deliver a meaningful and personalized touch. And with the different markets that I mentioned before, having the different villas that I mentioned before, you can only imagine that that becomes its own life, right? So we have to ensure that there is a standard behind it, though, or a standard operating procedure that persons can, be very clear on. The technology is the same, and that's what we were striving for as well when we looked at this particular challenge. Again, the different markets, having somebody almost 24/7 is also a bit impossible. We have a single location here in Jamaica, so naturally reaching out to all these markets with different affiliates as well, even for the standard booking.coms and Expedias, we then realize that this certainly is creating an opportunity and a challenge. And lastly, we want to elevate the standard of sales to our luxury clients. I maintain that the value and sustainability of what we provide as an offering is naturally being challenged by each and every luxury hotel along with our general hotels. So we have to ensure that whatever we're doing here, including the interaction, including the technology, maintains that particular standard that our clients would have gotten to know in terms of the luxury standards that exist. So with that being said, we would have, been partnering with CNW/Liberty for well over 10 plus years here. And while we would have partnered on, telecommunication, a more robust and redefined wireless and internet solution across the property, and you can see the terrain just looking at that image right there, you'll understand that, the partnership grew. So when the local team, led by Mr. Dwayne Bennett and Andrew Fazio, reached out to me and said, "Hey, Shane, we acknowledge the potential challenge that you have here, and we think we have a partner in solution that could help you." And I was keen when I heard that its backbone was AI driven. I also became keen because just for the reference of the team, I am a practitioner of 18 years in the field of consulting for IT. I would have worked with the Massey Group and PBS Group before coming here at the Trial Club. So working across the region with different industries, different solution providers, and of course, the different governments as well, understanding their mandates and on the different industry having their own mandates. Landing on the outskirts of no longer being a consultant, but now so a client of a consultant. It was pretty interesting. And I encourage a team to engage me. Let's have a conversation. And that's when we were introduced to Guest Chat. And I know Adam would have given you the overview. From my experience, Guest Chat created a grand opportunity. As I stated, we had several strategies that were identified. And I call them strategies because for me, challenges can become easily strategies. And the Guest Chat platform that we implemented within a matter of, I would say, probably about a month or two, was phenomenally integrated. It was seamless working with our web developers to get that up and going. And the team behind the solution, their partners, Nima and Roya, really helped me really well to get the AI bot trained with all our 74 plus experiences, as I mentioned before, each having their unique offerings from 1-bedroom options to 10-bedroom options, different amenities. And then, of course, the property itself with its 18-hole golf course, the tennis, the options for tea times, the options for tennis booking, the offsite experiences, water sports, that kind of thing with our different partners. And of course, our local culinary experiences, including our themed nights, or reggae nights and piano dinners and so on. And of course, any sort of amenities that we offer as a part of our exclusive private club, those all had to be compact in this particular platform. Now, naturally, our reservation experience team would have also been very knowledgeable, but they have their own limitations in terms of having their different schedules. They're already taking communications from several different channels as well, because we have phone calls coming in. We have some guests that are on property that we also need to address. So when we have our website now being able to take some of that load off the team, I can share with you that the team welcomed that change. So firstly, we trained the bot to know everything about the property. This 17th century property that has all these amenities, including heritage site options, or you can take a look at our website, trial.com, You see our heritage site, we have, bird watching, all those amenities. We had to condense that into the chatbot. Then we had to tailor the chatbot to speak our luxury language, right? Because as I said, our reservation experience team would have already been trained in that way. So we moved all of that. And once we were able to get that going, we were able to sustain and maintain our guest experience, even when our reservation experience team was offline or was not available to answer immediately. The next thing we were able to do was get close to, if in my view, 24/7 responses, because by training that chatbot in the way that our experience team or reservation experience team would have responded, including looking at availability, costing, just giving the customer that bird's eye view as to what their estimates would be, most of those routine questions for interaction would have been answered before. What that did for us is created a lead list overnight. So we would have seen where guests would have been hitting our website at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. And of course, we have a standard return or response time. But naturally, some guests, they want to have that response almost immediately. So the chatbot also allowed us to have that presence and give that response to those various customers. And secondarily, it gave us that lead list that the team could now pre-qualify and do follow-ups. And naturally, for me, that solidified our operational experience because no one wants to lose a lead, no one wants to lose a sale. So by creating that continued extent of what the reservation experience team would have had, we continued that operational experience by interaction, giving the data and answering the questions, looking at availability and stealing those deals. And I'm happy to report that through the interactions, through the implementation of the chatbot with continuous training, by the way. So please, team, don't think you implement it today and you leave it. No, we continuously train the bot as we have new experiences on property or we have new events happening, just to make sure that the guest experience is second to none, with the information being consistent across the board if they're interacting with someone over the phone, via email or website with our chatbot. So that solidified that. And as I said, I'm happy to report that we were able to now see marginal increases in our bookings. And that's within the implementation of this particular solution, Guest Chat, over the past 4 to 5 months that we've been using it. We've seen that we've been able to gather more leads. We've been able to qualify and quantify our CRM database as well, because again, you always want to capture that to promote the organization as stated before. And that in itself is data-driven decisions. We can now look at what our data is saying based on potential booking, confirmed bookings, validation of queries, the lead list, and we can create our own experiences around that for different promotions, different offerings, and of course, keeping our clients in touch with what the experience would be and continues to be here at Trial. Because once they leave, we want for them to know that we are still here. We still want you to return. And that's how you create that synergy of a repeat guest. So we're able to use the chatbot to solidify all of those particular items. And my guest experience, my reservations experience team as well, they are extremely happy with the platform. We've been able to make them more efficient as to how they work. And again, they now see the technology at work with them. So they're even more amplified to get things done within the organization. All right, so that's my testimonial for today. Adam, I will hand back over to you. For those who want to have a chat, I'm sure Rainer, Adam, Vanessa can share my details. I can share with you my own experiences as we would have acclimatized using the solution. I will give my own endorsement of the platform just based on where we are looking at the platform, looking at the possibilities of additional integrations moving forward. And let me reassure you, the integration piece was very seamless. But again, once you implement, it's a continuous improvement, continuous training to ensure you maintain the particular standard that you're looking for. So thank you everyone for having me once again. And I'll be in the on the panel answering any other questions during the Q&A section. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Shane. Just Okay, Vanessa and team, I think, are we going to open the floor for some Q&A?
Definitely. We currently have one question on the chat, and we invite all of the attendees, if you have any questions, to post them on the Q&A box. The question is, these are all great AI amenities, but the focus seemed to be on hotels. Can these be used by our business that looks after over 55 private villas and condos here in the Cayman Islands? Can Hotel 360 and digital signage be incorporated into an individual property?
Yes. So yeah, that's a few questions there. Okay, so yes, the AI can be tailored for businesses outside of hospitality, but it's really geared towards well, yeah. So private villas, of course, as well. I see here condos. Some of the questions are, I'm looking at the question, but the questions are moving so fast. It actually just disappeared. 1 second. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay, yeah, I'm looking at it again. Yeah, so yes, definitely for private villas, we can customize it for that. Definitely in Cayman as well. So Cayman and across the Caribbean, all of our Liberty markets, we can provide the guest chat solution too. And yeah, so villas, no problem at all. For Hotel 360, and digital signage, yeah. So those can be incorporated into an individual property. Would you mind clarifying the question on individual property? Are you asking about a villa in particular, or?
If I am reading the question, and of course the attendee can provide further comments, but are these resources available to accommodation providers? Not necessarily, the regular hotels, but villas or other type of accommodations.
Yeah, I think I would say, no matter the size of your property, whether it's a large hotel, bed and breakfast, we can tailor each solution to your business needs.
Yeah, and if I may, Adam, just reiterating for the team, we have 74 plus villas, ranging from Gracehouse villas, which are 1 to 2 bedrooms, to 10-bedroom villas, all unique, all different owners, all having their different taste and style of luxury. So I can reaffirm what Adam stated, that it can be tailored in that way for sure.
Perfect. I think we have some other questions coming in.
Yes. The second question, how do you go from chatbot to generating to real human contact and translate into getting in contact with them and responding to them with answers that the chatbot couldn't give?
Do you want me to go ahead, Adam, or?
Yeah, go ahead, Shane.
Okay. All right. So operationally, we have adopted the platform, right? So the chatbot essentially takes the lead. Once a visitor logs onto a website, within about a minute or so, we allow the customer to experience the website. So they log on, within about a minute, the chatbot prompts up, and it gives a friendly message to say something like, welcome to the Trial Club, something, I'm your chatbot. Then what we do is, because we want to maintain that contact, we would have changed our SOP recently to include where the customer would then enter their information. So first name, last name, telephone number, email address. All right, great. Now, once that is entered, we then interact with the chatbot. So that you can ask the questions. I have a special occasion coming up in December. Can you confirm your availability of villas? That kind of thing. And then, depending on the type of questions, we have our chatbot experience connoisseurs as well, and agents who then review those messages in real time, and they're able to take control of the chat. So let's say, depending on the type of questions that the person is asking, the agent is able to review those particular chats, depending on what type of responses is being given, depending on the questions continually asked. And then, of course, within our training of our SOP, or particular agents are asked to interact with the customers after about 5 minutes. What that means is we have the chatbot doing the first-hand routine responses. Then we have an agent who is more knowledgeable, who adds a different layer of personal touch by taking over the chat. And then, of course, we can move that over to a reservation experience person. So all in one cycle, just for the person who answered the question, we're able to, move from a website, go to chatbot, go to our agent, go to the reservation experience, and start that booking process, providing that the person is a good lead.
Awesome, Shane. Thanks very much.
No problem.
Okay, the next question. How do you see the role of telecommunications and connectivity partners evolving in supporting smart hospitality in the region?
I think myself or Rainier, if you...
Yeah, I don't mind taking that one. It's an exciting question. Potentially a webinar by itself, right? But we'll save that for the next one. Maybe very briefly, I think what we're trying to achieve here is, blending different technologies in a way that it allows customers, hotels in this case, but this could also be hotel staff, this could be guests themselves, as well as the telecommunication provider, to create an environment in which we remove more and more friction of the different interactions. And we allow for that balance between, as Shane was rightfully saying, between automation and a personal touch. I think that's the beauty of the hospitality industry, that there's always going to be that element that's needed, that's expected. And what we're seeing, and I think we're hearing it today, is that the moment you blend these technologies together, make them adaptable to the needs of the end users, the hotels, you really create an interesting win-win situation, because you're also able to more effectively add additional elements, products, services to the interaction, not to push them, but because they naturally come up in the interaction with the customer. So there's an option the moment you automate part of that initial interaction to get a better sense of the customer needs when it comes to additional services. What role can I play as a hotel, for example, in offering a wide variety of additional services? And do I want these to be available, directly upon arrival or during the course of the stay? So there's more insights, there's more capability to immediately link those needs to an actual service. Just imagine being able to order for, the right customer a hotel service straight from the comfort of your room, have that be added to your hotel bill. It creates again an environment that has far less friction and an ability for everyone to benefit from additional experiences. And that's revenue generating, of course, but it's also from a rating perspective, an interesting environment. So, to kind of summarize the answer, I think it's about blending different technologies and making them adaptable to the needs of the different customers, because especially in hospitality, we're talking about a wide variety of stakeholders in the usage and in the sale, and that makes it interesting. I can tell you from a telecommunications provider, it's a bit of a mind shift. We're more used to transactional services, a broadband offering, a mobile offering, but this is a very exciting area to be part of, and I think it creates also much deeper relations with customer, much longer lasting. So it's an exciting development, and we're not at the end of the journey. To Shane's point, this is ongoing. These are things that you need to constantly adapt to changing needs. But as long as the core of the technology is capable of that, and you have the right people, then we can make that work. So I think that's the exciting thing on how we as a telecommunication provider, try to adapt to this changing environment, blending technologies and make them adaptable to changing needs. Anything to add to Adam, or is that?
Yeah, so I can share my own experience, right? So here in Tral, we're located on the northwestern end of the island. You'd have seen the topology on the screen of part of my presentation. So um, we are prone to a lot of lightning strikes. You know, we get hit all the years when hurricanes come through because we have lush greenery around the property as well. Flow would have started an initiative which I fully endorse. They've started to bury our fibers. What that means is it's one less thing for us to worry about for those who are asking, you know, how the partnerships are going. So we would have signed up with Flow. They have now started to bury fiber. We're going to be one of those particular customers on this end of the island who will be tapping into that underground fiber. And just for the matter of who asked about the technology and how it's being used, we have a 1 terabit internet service with Flow because connectivity is the biggest part of, or in my view, one of the biggest items for hospitality. If you don't have connectivity, persons coming to work for leisure, etc., that's going to be a challenge. So putting in place the right infrastructure first, and of course having that managed, and then of course having the right services behind it is key. So you know, having the underground fiber or 1 terabit point. We're able to split that between our 70 plus villas along with our common areas. And then, of course, we're working with them on the PBX, which is also going to be a part of that particular service being underground. And we're using the guest chat services. So for me, it's an evolving partnership that has lasted for quite some time. I'm pretty happy with the partnership so far. And the aim is to continue to synergize with Liberty. Yeah. Thank you.
We have two more questions, and we should try as much as possible to go through them within the available time. The next one is a very important question. What level of investment, time, money, training is typically required to integrate AI effectively into guest communications or operations?
Let me just see if I can. The volume was a little bit low, so I'm just trying to see if I can read the question out again. I'm looking for it in the chat.
What level of investment, time, money, training is typically required to integrate AI effectively into guest communications or operations?
Okay, so you're asking about the pricing essentially for the cost involved. So, I mean, we definitely look at each hotel individually, but from a cost perspective for AI, what we're seeing typically it's about a couple $100 per month on average to have the solution fully trained, set up, and running. That's the overall kind of the average cost, right? Hopefully that answers the question. Depending again on the size of the hotel, how many man hours involved, and so on. But generally speaking, you know, you can look at anywhere between 200 US to 300 US per month as a general costing.
If you can expand in terms of what's required from a training perspective, what sort of staffing resources would be required to integrate we've been chatting about today? Ballpark.
Staffing resources. I think that's it. That really comes down to the hotel, and you know how I mean, we're not going to dictate how your business you know how your typical business operations, right? If for example you normally have three members of staff handling the bookings, then we'll work with those 3 members of staff, right? So you don't need any kind of special technical skill or any special training. It's very intuitive. Pretty much anyone. It can be just be one person in your hotel or property, or it could be a team of 5 to 10 people, right? It just depends on your use case, right? On your particular challenge. But yeah, it just varies. I'd say the solution, though, again, it doesn't require any technical background or anything like that. It's very intuitive, and yeah, minimal training involved to get your staff members up and running.
All right, so I'll just jump in as well, Adam.
Yeah, thank you.
One of the things that you want to do is you first want to look at your strategy. You know, what is the means that you're trying to get to? What is the end game? Um, Adam mentioned looking at your guest experience persons. That could be your reservations person. That could be your front of house persons. That could be your booking agents. It could be your guest experience in the field. You know, events. You need to know what exactly are the questions that you typically get from your guests that can be considered routine, that you want to just have being as a repository for immediate responses. So depending on what you're trying to achieve, that's the first thing. You're going to do your own assessment based on your property. You're going to get that and collect that information as to what your outcomes will be. Now, depending on where you want to get that information from, that you'll have to have what I consider to be an experienced or expert in those particular areas. So if it's guest experience, somebody needs to know all the rules, or your SOPs will guide in that case. If it's about events or themes, you know, pricing, you want to also have those on hand, preferably in a documented format. Once you collate all of that information, what we did internally was we created a work group that would ratify the information just to ensure that it's properly normalized across the board. All the SOPs are standardized, all the information is consistent with what the brand would want. And then we started the project. And starting the project really just did the introduction of the platform, gave an overview. And then, of course, we had import sheets that the team was able to share with us. We had those completed. And then, of course, we were asked to give the particular amenities and so on in a particular format. I believe it was CSV for ease of import. Once you get those done, again, notice I didn't say anything about any technical background or anything like that. You must have an appreciation, though, for business re-engineering, which means you're looking at your processes, you're looking at what the outcomes are to be, you're looking at how automation will help you. So just a bit of business re-engineering skill set is required. For me, why I was primarily involved is, again, I was a consultant, so I had all of those skill sets so I could guide the team. And the only technical part was where we got to the integration. Once we got the chatbot trained, we were given a couple of sessions to kind of go through, ensure that the system was working consistently. We were given particular scenarios. So, you know, what if the customer asks 5 days as opposed to 7 days? You know, what if the customer asks, what about special occasions? You take all of those use cases, you pack them into your training plan, you push those across to the team at Liberty. They would ensure that all of those responses are coming back consistently. And once you're done there, the training, I believe, took about a half a day to a day just to kind of get the team acclimatized. However, your SOPs would have to be done in the background, which is your ownership. So looking at what your procedural changes would be now that you have some automation in there. And, you know, once you get all of those bottled up within the flip of a switch, literally, you can actually start working. So for us, there were some background stuff that you have to take ownership of, but the technical mindset or having technical persons on board, you didn't need to have that. You just need to have your knowledge experts, your area experts, and your documentation of your SOPs and, you know, whatever other literature, and that takes care of the chatbot.
Great. Thanks, Shane, for that expanded overview. We've reached the end of the time that we have allocated for the session. We do have additional questions on the Q&A chat, which we have cataloged and will connect individually with the person that has posted those questions. At this point, we want to give our thanks to Rainier, Adam, Shane, and Liberty Business for their support and all of the insights that they have shared during the presentation. As a reminder, the video will be available to replay on CHTA's YouTube channel within 48 to 72 hours, and the presentation will be loaded on CHTA's members platform. And as a reminder, I also want to bring up to the audience and those that join us afterwards that the Caribbean Hospitality Industry Exchange Forum is taking place in Barbados, November 16 to the 18th. We do have several sessions addressing technology and some of the insights and trends that you should be in the know to strengthen your business. And our next webinar is scheduled for October 21st. HR specific people development, unlock the future of HR, drive sustainability and efficiency through digital transformation. With that, we thank you for your participation and we hope to see you during the next webinar from the CHTA Live Forging Ahead series. Thank you so much and have a great rest of the day.